All right, so in this video, what we're going to do is make some buttons, and then we will do the rest. So let's go here, and let's make a new layer, and we'll call this buttons. And we will make our button graphics inside of here. And I'm just going to get a little bit closer. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because you probably know how to do it. So I'm going to use the rectangle tool here, and I will make this mid-gray because and we'll make it a little bit darker. Okay, and we're going to do a play button and a stop button. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our play button. So I'm just going to hold shift to keep it proportionate. That looks good. All right, actually, what else do we have? Oval, polystar. Okay. Actually, just out of curiosity, if I do polystar, polygon number size, can I do 3? We can. Okay, never mind. I'm going to use the polystar and do 3, so that way I'm going to hold shift as I do it. There we go. And we'll do that as our play button. I was going to just take one of these off and move it, but we could just use polystar. That's a little bit easier. Okay. So then we just want to put these like this, and then I don't remember what the start over button thing, like the replay button. So I'm just going to guesstimate. So we're going to do an oval tool, and I'm just going to hold shift as I draw it. We'll say that that is good. Okay. Then I'm going to do another oval tool. This time I'm going to change the color to red. Doesn't really matter what it is. Okay. And I'm just going to put it in here, and I'm hit Q. And again, I'm going to hold shift. And let's go a little bit more. We'll go like that. Click off. I'm going to click on it now and delete. That'll make my little hole for me. Now what I need to do is the arrow part. So what we're going to do is we are going to cut off. So I'm just going to go like this, we'll say, and this we'll say. I'm not sure what to do. And we'll just delete that. And then I'm going to double click on this line, delete. Double click on this line, delete. And then I just need an arrow part. I already have this here. So I'm going to hold Alt, click and drag. Hit Q, and I'm going to rotate. Let's put this at the base here, and we're going to rotate this around to roughly, that looks about right. And then we'll just scale this down. That looks right? I don't know. Honestly, I would want this line to match that line instead of being off, but I would put more time into it. You get the rough idea of how it works. Everybody's doing something. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger too. There we go. I know they're not the same, but okay. Good. So those look acceptable. I'm just gonna take them and modify and align. Sorry, and vertical center. That's not what I meant. I meant horizontal center. Modify, align, and we will do horizontal center. Put them on the same. Okay, whatever. We'll just do it manually. Okay. So now we need to make these buttons. So this should be relatively easy. We're just going to grab this guy, go modify, convert to symbol, and this time we want to use button. We have not used buttons at all, but we're going to do buttons now. So we'll go ahead, and we'll call this the play underscore BTN. BTN. Great. And we'll do this one. I'm just going to hit F8 this time because it's a little bit faster. And we'll call this one the stop underscore BTN. And that's fine. And then we'll grab this one, and again I'm hit F8, and this will be the replay underscore BTN, like so. Okay, so now we got 3 buttons. They're not quite done yet because what you'll see is that there's a little bit difference between them and other things. So for instance, this one is a graphic, but also if it was a movie clip, you would see this. You'll see that when we do graphics, they have a timeline underneath themselves, right? And if you remember, graphics have that thing where we can do, I have this, okay, you can do the frame picker and we can choose specific frames. We can tell it to replay. Actually, we're going to tell it to only play once while we're on this. And there's the lip syncing and there's other options with it. Okay. That's weird. Okay. So with this, if I double click and go inside of this thing, you'll see it only has these options. It has up, over, down, and hit. So what these mean is up is what the resting looks like, where it's just regular flavor, nothing's happening to it. Over means when you're hovered over it with your cursor. So you might have noticed when you are on a website, right, when you hover over it, if you hover over a link, it usually will highlight or there'll be an underline or something, right? And then down is when you're pushing on it, and hit is the hitbox, okay? If you do not define the hit, if I don't put a keyframe here, what'll happen is it'll just take the shape itself. But if for some reason you wanted the hit to be different than what the object is, you can choose it here. So for instance, I can make this much larger so you don't actually even have to touch it. I can make it so it was farther out. I'll show you that as an example on this one. Okay, so we'll say that looks fine. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to hit F6, or you can right click and go to insert keyframe. Okay, so it's just a duplicate of that. But I'm going to have it when you hover over it that we will just change the color a little bit. So let's just make it a little bit lighter. So with it selected, I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to make it that color. Okay, so when you hover over it, it'll highlight a different color. And then on down, I'm going to go ahead and hit F6 this time to create a keyframe. And I'm just going to have it that when you push down on it, it's going to get darker. So we'll click the darker one. Okay, so when you hover over lighter, when you push down, darker. And then the hit, we're going to leave alone. All right, now I'm going to go ahead, go back here. I'm going to hit Control Enter so you can see this, just to get a rough idea. So when I hover over it and when I push down on it, right? Makes sense. Okay, now let's do something a little bit fancier for this one. I'm going to grab this one and we will say that that's what that looks like. I'm trying to think if that's what I want to do. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to Control Plus. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to grab this, and just to make things a little bit more fun, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do the ink bottle, and we're just going to give it an outline. So right now the outline is black. So let's click off. There we go. Ink bottle, outline, black. Okay, so now it's got a black color, and now it's got a stroke, and let's just go ahead and we'll make that stroke. Let's see. Is too much? Actually, I got to have it selected in order for that to show up. All right, let's try it again. Is too much? 2 is fine. Okay, so we'll say that's what that looks like. Then what I'm going to do is that's the regular. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to hit F6 again for here. This is going to be the over. So what I'm going to do with the over is we are going to grab this whole thing. I'm going to go up, 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 over, over, over. So basically, when you hover over it, it's going to move over a little bit. Okay. The other thing we'll do is we'll do the same thing we did here, where actually we're going to do this. Let's take the outline, and instead we're going to make this like a light gray. So basically when you hover over it, it's going to go like that. I actually don't like that. Let's just make that back to black. Okay, we'll just make this lighter. So like that, and we're going to make it lighter. And then we'll hit here, I'm going to hit F6. And actually, I'm not going to hit F6. I am going to copy this one. So we'll right click, copy frames, and right click and paste frames, because I don't want it to be offset like the other one. And then what we're going to do here, you can probably already tell, is we're going to go over, 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 down, down, down. And I'm going to take this and we will make this darker. There. And I'm going to take this one and make this lighter. Okay. So basically when you push on it, it goes like that. And we'll call that good. Okay. So that will be like that. And then this one, we'll do the same things basically. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit F6, F6. And then I'm going to not do that one. So we'll just say on over, we'll just make it lighter. Good. And then on down, we'll make it darker. Okay. And then for the hit though, I'm going to change this. So I could use this picture again. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit F7, or you can right click and insert blank keyframe. And I'm actually going to put it on onion skinning so I can see where it was. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use, let's do no stroke. Not that it really matters. And the fill, I'm just going to make black. Color does not matter at all. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of hold shift. Okay. And I'm going to make sure that it goes like that. Let's hit Q. I think it needs to be a little bit smaller. That looks right. Okay. And I'm going to go like this. Okay, like that. Okay, so now that's my hit. So the reason why I'm doing that is that way when I go to push on this button, so let's go back. You'll see it doesn't show up. Now, the reason why I'm doing it is this. When we bring it over here, you can see, okay, that works like we think. See how it looks better when it moves? Now watch this one. When I go over here, but look at, see, it still is a button even where the shape wasn't. That way, because, you know, more than likely someone's going to click in the center of it. Otherwise, you could click the center of it and it wouldn't read it, but now it does. But you will notice that when I get to the tip here, see how it's not reading? because the circle's not inside of that. So it's not going to read in here. So I could fix that and add a little tidbit, but I don't really care that much. And so we can see we have the button there. Okay, so now we have our buttons. That looks fabuloso. All right, I would do them all consistently. Like this one's got the, I would do them all like this one, just showing you different things. Okay, yeah. And the next one we'll do is we will make these function.